You are in the Temple of the Rants, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one is for Z Crust, who says, rant about reverse traps in anime, aka girls who are mistaken for or pretend to be boys. Some examples are Kyubei from Gintama, Haruhi from Uran High School Host Club, and Hot Pants from JoJo. You can talk about your favorite reverse traps, their underrepresentation in anime, whether they are more or less gay than regular traps, or why true patricians prefer reverse traps. You know, honestly, I think this whole trap craze, the traps and reverse traps, the popularity of them just has a lot to do with people, like, finding out that gender is something that can be played with. And, like, I understand the sentiments of trans people who think that trap is a slur or an insult. I'm sure it's been used that way. I don't think that's anywhere close to the majority of how people are using it. I honestly think it's done a lot more to expose people to their own sexuality than anything. Like, I think more people have, through their, embrace of traps or through the mere idea of it, have found something that they can play around with in a space that's more comfortable because you hide behind kind of the meme of it to explore, not necessarily being, like, gay or bisexual or anything like that, although I'm sure for a lot of people that's exactly the case, but also just, Jesus Christ, the different interpretations of gender, like, the realization that what you're attracted to doesn't have to be, like, the social standard of what someone looks like. Like, for me personally, it's really funny. Going back through my my Mega Tokyo posts from 2007, my signature was literally just I love traps. And I was a huge fan of both traps and reverse traps because I was really just into the idea of androgyny. As somebody who had grown up looking like a girl and, funnily enough, hating that I looked like a girl. Well, not even that I looked like it. I just didn't think I did. I thought everybody else was wrong. And then growing up and being confused about my sexuality and wishing I could look like a girl. And then sort of, just admiring anything that played around with, like, gender representation. Like, I saw it as sort of a fun game that allowed you to explore, different feelings that you might have. So reverse traps, I mean, for one thing, they're definitely less gay than regular traps if you're a guy who's into it, because a trap is a boy in a girl outfit, unless they're trans, which is not always the case in anime. Reverse trap, you're just into a girl who happens to dress like a boy. I think it's, in many ways, just more relatable. Maybe you can see more of yourself in it. Like, I used to be particularly into, like, androgynous female characters as, like, my favorite ones. Just girls who exhibit more masculine traits that I guess were just easier for me to relate to. It's like as somebody who didn't understand much about the feminine, it's like this is a more approachable type of woman, maybe. Or, using a trap as a way of saying, like, oh, as a boy, if I want to explore the feminine, I can just go ahead and do that, So I do think they're both interesting categories, and I'm interested in the way that the conversation around them never stops. That, again, even though everybody, treats it as a meme, it is basically a way to say, I'll fuck anything as long as it looks like a girl, or I'll fuck anything that is a girl regardless of whether it looks like a boy, it's I hope people are taking away that mentality. I'm sorry I decided to record this towards the back end of dinner being made. It does sound like Berserk 2016 in there, as was noted in the comments of that video. My favorite reverse trap, probably Kino from Kino's Journey. I keep looking over because I've got the box set of the show where, hold on, can I picture it? Yeah, where her ass is looking amazing, but it's ironic that that's my favorite picture of her because it's obviously showing off the female figure that she does have, whereas in the show she's usually mistaken for a boy or just considered androgynous. Nobuo Ito is a boyish kind of character. She's not really a reverse trap, but she is my number one waifu. Yeah, Haruhi from Uran's a great character. I think this fascination doesn't really. I'm not that fascinated with this kind of stuff anymore because I'm sort of over the experimental phase in my life. It's like when I was a teenager and I was unsure about gender identity and roles and stuff like that, and having to come to terms with those kind of things. Both of these categories were very interesting to me. Nowadays, it's more like, I'm pretty self assured in both who I am and what I'm attracted to, and what I'm attracted to is women. Whether those women are dressed as men or not, it really just depends on if they can pull it off. I mean, I think girls in like black suits is super fucking hot, but part of that is because it's slim fitting, and I'm a major appreciator of the female figure. It's like I like the idea of taking like men's clothes, but then stylizing them in like a cut, like a woman's cut. Um, but yeah, Viva androgyny.